Hello, everyone. Welcome to TPAN, the podcast about nothing. I'm your host for today, Matthew. Or Matt, I should say.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Rowena.
And I'm Smith.
So, we're back with episode 2. What will we talk about today? You will find out right after this commercial break.
What are you doing?
Just kidding. You'll find out now. So, since I'm the host for today, I tried, dude. I tried, dude. If you don't like this, bro, I can just cut it all out. But like,
you think we're gonna? No. You think
we're
cutting
not
this
cutting it
Matthew?
out. We're not cutting it.
This is not getting
Okay.
cut. This
That's
is
way
staying.
too much work.
Yes. All right.
All right, Matthew. What do you
So-
got in store for us, bud?
Yes. So, I was thinking of topics, and I thought, hey, people go on vacation, right?
Oh yeah.
Maybe not in these times, but people do generally go on vacation, right? So,
is
and I
correct.
started thinking about the vacations that I've taken in the past, and some weird shit that's happened on these vacations.
Ooh.
So, my topic for today is I want to hear about the weirdest thing that's happened while traveling for you guys. I will go first since I came up with this topic and I gave you guys no warning about it. So, a year ago, I went to Dublin with my family for
Oh,
a
this
wedding.
was for the wedding, right?
Yes, yeah. Some of you may have heard this story already. I went to Dublin for a wedding of a certain actor. I'm not going to say who exactly. Who is longtime friends of my parents. Anyway, so we get here. Dublin is very, very nice, actually. It's like we get there after this like 13-hour flight, or no, it's not 13 hours, is it? It's like
No,
I don't
Ireland?
remember. I don't
No,
remember
it's
the
like,
exact.
That's like 8 hours.
I don't remember
Like
the
to
exact
Paris,
amount.
it's like 8 hours.
Yeah, okay, so it was like 6,
Yeah.
7.
Yeah,
We get
so-
there, I'm super tired, because, flying really takes it out of you.
Yeah, of course.
And we get to this hotel. Again, I'm not going to say the name, because I don't want to, I'm going to complain about this hotel, so I don't want to, jeopardize the business of this place.
See, Matthew looks out for the bad businesses.
Yes.
You can leave shit in his bed and he'll still write it.
Well, you're not far off there.
Oh no!
Oh no!
So we got to this hotel. We got to this room. The person who, the attendant or the front desk lady, said, well, we're situated sort of in the middle of the nightclub district of Dublin, and so we've put you on the far side of the hotel, so the noise doesn't keep you up at night. This was a big lie, looking back on it. So we get to this room, and it's tiny. Okay, this whole room is maybe like the size of the bedroom that I'm in right now. Maybe a little bit bigger. It was about 10 by 10 feet, I think. It was tiny, and the bathroom was tiny, too. Nothing like American hotel rooms. So, and the first problem we noticed with this room is the bathroom door doesn't lock. No, I'm sorry, that's inaccurate. It's impossible to shut the bathroom door.
That's worse.
Yeah.
It
No.
literally,
That's so much worse.
it's like one of those doors that you sort of it's like a sliding door. It would
Yeah.
not slide closed all the way. It literally wouldn't. It would hit a point. It would hit a point, and it just would stop. And we had to literally put our full weight into this bathroom door to get it to shut all the way.
See, it's like even if it closes, that's not bad. If it doesn't lock. See, if it doesn't lock, that's not terrible. If it
Yeah.
closes, if it won't close, that's just objectively worse.
It's terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had to live with this bathroom door that wouldn't close. The beds were, so the way the beds were was it was this special room for 3 people or something like that, where there was one bed suspended above a bigger bed down below. So it was like,
So like a bunk bed.
yeah, except it was kind of like a smaller bed above a like queen
Oh,
size down below.
interesting.
Yeah. And so we get there, we want to go to sleep because we've been, flying and it's like we're tired. So at around 10 o'clock at night, we go to sleep, right?
Mhm.
That's when the clubs open. So from then until like 4 a.m., loud club music. That was the complete bullshit what they told us about being on the other side of the hotel and not being able to hear the music, by the way. We could totally hear the music. So we hear this music until like 4 a.m. Okay? It's like impossible to sleep through this. And then the music stops and we're like, oh, thank God, we can finally go to sleep. So
Now, was this like EDM music? Was it like
yeah,
what,
yeah,
what
it was like EDM music. It was called
Oh
clubbing music.
no! Oh
It was
man!
really bad, yeah. And shit, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so I kid you not,
So you finally
15
go to bed.
minutes later, 15 minutes after the clubs close, seagulls start making like calls. Really, really loud. Like hundreds of seagulls. Very annoying. And they
Were you
continued.
like wait? Were you like by the water or something? Like what?
No, well, no, it's just there are like a lot of seagulls in Dublin. Like they're literally all
Interesting.
over the place.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. And
Whoa.
so the seagulls keep going until like 6 a.m. or something like that. And then
Mhm.
at that time, construction literally right outside our window starts. Like they are building some shit right next to the hotel. And it's like right outside the window. So it's like you hear jackhammering and like other construction equipment, and it's like it's just a mess. Like we got basically no sleep.
Was it
It
like that
was,
the entire time you stayed there?
yeah, pretty much every night. And
Oh no!
we stayed there like 4 nights, I think.
Oh dear Jesus! That's not good.
It was
Oh
bad.
man.
Yeah, I was like, oh god.
That's honestly like a my cousin Vinny situation, you know?
Yeah.
You just can't get any
Yeah.
sleep.
Everything just
Mm.
escalates on top of itself.
Yeah.
It's like an episode of Seinfeld or something.
Mhm. Basically.
Yeah.
All right. I guess in terms of weird travel, I guess I'll go next. So this wasn't vacation. I remember I was in New York and I was at RPI for one of their things over the summer for prospective students or something
Now
like that.
I gotta ask you:
What?
Are you going to be slandering RPI here?
No, I will not be slandering RPI. Don't worry. Okay. I will not be slandering RPI.
Don't worry,
So-
I'll be slandering RPI. I don't like RPI.
Nice.
Yeah, I
Alright.
mean that goes without saying, but continue.
Okay. So the program ends, right? I say goodbye to my roommate who was there with me for like 2 weeks or a week or something like that. He was a
Wait.
nice kid.
Wait, holy shit! Did you do that engineering program?
I think so. Yeah.
Like the one over the summer?
Yes. Summer of
Oh,
20.
16.
Summer of. Yeah.
Holy shit! I was there,
You were there? What?
dude. I
When
I did like the same exact thing that summer.
They did. They had different weeks, so we probably were different weeks. If I'm being completely
Holy
honest.
shit,
Because
dude.
my week only had aerospace, chemistry, and one other thing, but it wasn't CS. It definitely wasn't CS.
I mean, mine wasn't CS either. It was more focused on engineering.
Ah, okay. Damn.
Jesus
Interesting.
Christ, bro.
I could
I
have
never
met you
knew
early,
that.
Matthew.
Holy shit.
Man. Alright, well, continuing on. So,
Yeah, my bad.
say goodbye to my roommate, and I think I didn't leave that day. I left the next morning. And let me tell you, it didn't go well. So I wake up the next morning, and for people that know me, I'm easily one of the most forgetful people on the face of the earth.
This is true.
For people that know me, and I in my infinite wisdom, I went to go to the bathroom. It was early in the morning. It was like, gosh, my mom has a habit of booking really early flights for me, and I don't mind that she books my flights for me because I could do it myself, but she does it for me. It's like they're so early, and it's not the fact that they're early enough that like they leave early. It's not the fact that they leave early. It's the fact that I have to wake up early to get to them, and that's what really sets me off. But it's neither here nor there. Anyways, so I wake up, I go to the bathroom. Guess who forgot his room key in his room and closed the
Oh
door?
God.
So it's 6 in the morning. It's 6 in the morning, and I don't have my room key, and I don't have my phone because
Oh.
I didn't bring it with
Oh
me.
no.
I didn't bring it with me to the bathroom, and I was like, "Oh fuck! Okay, here we go. This is gonna be interesting." And my taxi arrived in half an hour. So
Dude, you were on the clock.
I was
Oh,
on the
God,
clock.
dude.
So I was racking my brain. I literally sat outside my door for like 5 minutes, like full focus. I was like, okay, Ethan, if there was one time in your life you needed to focus, this is it. Like, you need to think about something right now. And I'm thinking. And I was like, there's an RA. They had an RA for us for whatever reason. And so I go knock on his door. No answer. Knock on his door again. No answer. Knock on his door again. No answer. After this, I just pounded on the door for a solid 2 minutes. He wakes up. "What are you doing?" he says. "I need help," I say. "Why do you need help?"
I need help.
"Why do you need help?" "I've locked myself out." "Why did you do that?" "I don't know." It's all
Why did you do that?
Why did
God.
you
Questions on his part.
I wonder.
He's like clearly irritated. He's not very happy about this, and he calls, and he makes a phone call. He makes a phone call or two, and he manages to get my door unlocked. 15 minutes until my taxi arrives. I'm getting my shit together. 5 minutes before my taxi arrives. Finally get it all together, down in there, and I literally get there down just as the taxi pulls up.
Oh my
Jeez,
god.
dude, cutting it
Nice.
close.
And so I load all my shit in, and I'm like, okay, the nightmare's over. At least I thought it was over. So I go,
Oh God.
I make it to the
dude.
airport, and I'm going in the airport, and I go through TSA. This would not be the only time I went through TSA. And I go through TSA, right? I get into the terminal, and I get to where I'm going. And I got there in the morning. Now, it was about afternoonish now. My flight didn't... See, the weird thing was, my flight wasn't until, like, the afternoon. So I was like, wait a minute, why am I going here so early if my flight's in the afternoon? Like, you know how it's like, you should get there 2 or 3 hours beforehand. That I get.
Yeah.
I was there, like, 5 hours beforehand.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I don't know why. No, I know why. It was the first time I had ever traveled alone. This was the first time I'd ever like traveled alone, like by myself. And so my mom, she wanted to make sure I got there on time. I don't know. Anyways. And so I just have to sit around. So I passed out in the airport.
Oh
And-
no.
Oh
no.
God,
I said
Ethan.
no. I set an alarm. I set an
Okay,
alarm.
okay.
I was smart.
True.
I was smart for once. I was smart. I set an alarm. I woke up to said alarm. I go, I get lunch, which is actually breakfast. I eat it. I don't remember what it was. I leave, and I go back to my terminal. It starts to rain. Oh, that doesn't look too bad, I say to myself as I look out the window. Doesn't look too bad. Not
Oh,
even
no.
5 minutes later, it's a torrential downpour outside with like lightning and thunder and everything. It's like insane. And I'm like,
Shit, dude.
This will be gone in like 5 minutes. 2 hours later, it's still torrentially downpouring, and my plane is supposed to leave in Oh no, wait, no, wait. I'm mixing up the order. Okay, so Actually, what happened on this one? So the first part of what happened. So everything is fine. I get on the plane. The weather hadn't come in at this time. I get on the plane. It's fine. 5 minutes go by, and the captain comes on. He says, "You know what? We're gonna take off soon. Don't you all worry. We're gonna have ourselves a good time."
In
Okay,
those
fine.
exact words, right?
Oh, of course. I'm like, okay, awesome. 10 minutes later. Don't worry, folks. We're doing our pre-checklist bullshit, and we'll be on our way soon. Okay, fine. Another 10 minutes later. Don't worry, folks. This is completely standard. We will be taking off shortly.
At that
Okay.
point, you know it's a lie.
Okay. Okay, I say to myself. Okay. 30 minutes later. There seems to be a little problem with the plane. It shouldn't be too bad. We'll get going soon.
It shouldn't be too
We've been-
bad.
Now
Got
we've
it.
been on this plane for about an hour. I think it was 55 minutes at this point. We've been on this plane for about an hour. And I was losing hope. But I was like, okay. My father texts me. He's supposed to pick me up from the airport. My father texts me, "Have you left yet?" I don't know why he texted me. If he had actually texted me and I was in the air, I couldn't answer him. But since I was on the ground, I texted him back, "No, we haven't left." "Why haven't you left?" "There's a problem with the plane, Dad." "What do you mean there's a problem with the plane, son?"
Son.
"Dad, there's a problem
Sonny.
with the plane. I will let you know when I take off." And he was like, "Okay, son." And I was like, "Okay, Dad."
Okay, son.
Another half an hour goes by.
This reminds
What?
me of the "Are you winning, son" meme.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was thinking.
Have you taken off
Have
yet,
you left,
son?
son?
Have you left yet, son?
He doesn't call me son. This is just the way I chose to narrate this.
Oh,
So,
okay.
half an hour goes by. We still haven't taken off. Now, my mom has texted me at this point, and she's like, "Have you taken off?" And I was like, "No, I have not taken off." And she's like, "Why haven't you taken off?" "There's a problem with the plane, Mom." "Do they know what the problem is?" "No, Mom. No, they don't know what the problem is. They haven't told us." "Okay. Tell me when you take off." "Okay." My neighbor, who are dear friends of mine at my father's place, they're old friends of my father's. She texts me,
Oh my god.
"Ethan, have you taken off? We miss you." "No, Louisa, we haven't taken off."
We miss
"Why haven't you taken off, Ethan?" "Louisa, there's a problem with the plane." "And no, I don't know what the problem is."
Oh my
"Okay,
god.
let us know when you take off." "Okay, Louisa, I will let you know when I take off." "Okay, Ethan." Another half an hour goes by. It's been 2 hours.
What other important person in Ethan's life can text him about the plane?
The captain comes on. "See here, folks, we got ourselves an electrical problem with the plane, and we're gonna need to deboard the plane. We're gonna have to get everyone out into the terminal
Deplane.
again. And yeah, we'll start that process shortly." 15 minutes later, no one has left the plane. We're all just sitting there, waiting to leave the plane. Finally, after another 10 minutes has passed, and finally people start getting off the plane after being on there for about 2.5 hours. And I get off. I finally get off. And I am like, okay, well, I don't know what I'm going to do, because that plane isn't leaving anymore. And they didn't offer a replacement. So, I have to figure something out. And of course, the first thing that I do is go get my luggage. Because, a man needs his luggage. Which was a stupid mistake in hindsight. And
A man needs his luggage.
Oh no, why, Ethan? Why was this a stupid mistake?
because there was only one other plane that left that day, and would you know it, everyone who was on that plane, I was in the first half of the plane, and I could have been one of the lucky few that could have gotten a seat on that plane, the next plane to leave to Maryland from New York. Of course, I wasn't one of the smarter people. I went to go get my luggage, and everyone else, in the front half of the plane for the most part, got seats to go back to Baltimore. I didn't get that plane, as luck would have it. And so this is all happening while I'm getting my luggage. People go up to the counter and they start reserving tickets. And finally, after I get my luggage, I go to a counter. And I'm like, hello, what can you do for me?
In those exact words.
Basically. And they're like, well, there's no other flights today. I know that. I know there are no other flights today. I have been told this. Okay, fine. There's a flight tomorrow. There's 3 flights tomorrow. Okay, perfect. Put me on the earliest one. Okay. Is there anything else you can do for me? No, not really. And so I'm sitting there. I'm standing there at the desk, and I'm like, there isn't anything that you can, like, compensate me with, like, at all, like, in the slightest? And they're like, well, so I was, at the time, when I got to college, I was 18, so I was 17 at the time. So I was in a weird gray area of about 3 years or so from maybe... No, it's like a 2-year gray area where it's like 16 and 17. So if you're 15, the airline will put you up in a hotel. If you're 18, the airline will give you a voucher for a hotel. I was 17, so they legally couldn't do anything about me, because while I was a minor, I was old enough to where they deemed that they weren't responsible for me.
That's so weird.
Feels
So-
bad, man.
So I'm standing there, and I was like, you really can't do anything for me? Nope, good luck. Okay.
Good luck. Oh,
Okay.
no.
I leave the desk, and I had to go back, so now I have to go back through TSA. I go back through TSA. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm just gonna eat now. I remember I got the 6 saddest wings and the saddest bowl of macaroni and cheese. And I sat down at a table, and I was like, wow. So this is where I've ended up. I'm just sitting there, and I'm just like, you know, just the chain of events that happened to get to this point. I don't know. I'm just sitting there eating my sad plate of wings and my sad bowl of mac and cheese. I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, wow. Of course this is how this would happen. Of course. Today is the day that this would happen. I knew it, you know? And so at this point, my mother calls me. And of course, my mother is worried. And she's like, Ethan, what are you going to do? And I was like, well, I don't know, Mom. They didn't give me anything. What do you mean they didn't give you anything? I mean, Mom, they didn't give me anything. And she was... oh, no, wait. So she had been on the thing. She had been on the phone with me while I was in line. And I think she had spoken to the desk agent briefly, but then she had to get off. And so I handled the rest of the stuff for the desk agent. And so I was giving her the rundown of what actually happened. And she was like, oh, they didn't give you anything. And I was like, no, they didn't give me anything. So I'm in the terminal. And it's becoming apparent that I'm just going to have to sleep in the airport.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, I've got to find a place to sleep, Mom. And she's like, okay. I decide there looks like a nice little spot. It's outside of TSA. Nice little spot to go and sleep. So that's what I decided to do. Mom calls me up again. Ethan, I found there's this nice little place to sleep. Oh, I think I found the same place. It's inside TSA, she says. That's not the place I found. Well, you're gonna go back inside TSA because it's safer. Okay, Mom. I go back inside through TSA, 3rd time. I cannot find the place she is talking about. So I give up. And I leave TSA. and I go back to the place I originally was set up at. And I pop on my show, and I try to sleep for about 4 hours, because the next flight was at 4:30 in the morning. So I woke up at like 3 or something like that, something crazy. I go through TSA for the 4th time. And I go in, and it's raining outside. Doesn't look bad.
No,
Oh, I forgot about the
dude.
rain.
Doesn't look bad.
The
Really don't-
foreshadowing, dude.
Really doesn't look bad. I'm like, this will be gone in 5 minutes. It was dark out at the time. Of course, as soon as I finish my thought, a torrential downpour just happens. This is when the torrential downpour happens. And
yes,
it's like
I remember
thunder is
this from early in
crashing,
the story.
lightning is like lighting up the sky, and I'm standing there and I'm like, of course this would happen. Mom calls me. Are you getting on that flight? I had to reserve my ticket. See, she didn't actually put me on the first. So the woman didn't actually put me on the earliest flight, but she said just to wait there just in case anyone canceled, so that maybe I could get on an earlier flight back home, which is fair. So this is what I'm doing. I'm not actually on this flight, but I'm going to go check and see if maybe I can get on this flight. Now, I'm very irritable at this point. It's 4 in the morning. And I'm like, no, Mom, but it's raining. And she's like, they don't cancel planes for rain. Mom, it's raining pretty hard. Ethan, they do not cancel planes for rain. It's very rare. Okay, Mom. I'll see if I can get on this one.
Okay.
Good job, Ethan. Try and get on this plane if you can. Okay, Mom. I go up to the desk. Is anyone canceled? No, not yet. Okay. I wait. This plane is leaving in about an hour or 2, so I wait. And it's still raining. And I wait. And it's still raining. And I wait.
Is it still raining?
You bet your sweet ass, it's still raining. And you know what? The rain only got worse.
Oh no.
And I'm looking out that window, and it's light now. It was 4 o'clock. It's now like, and this plane can get pushed back. That's why it was still there. Because I think they were hoping that it could still be like flown, and so it keeps getting pushed back, like continually pushed back. And so it's like 7 now. It's light out, and it's raining, and an announcement comes on. The flight is canceled.
Oh god, dude.
And I'm like, well, thank God I reserved the later flight. Perfect. And wouldn't you know it, right after they announced the plane cancellation, within 15 minutes, the rain stopped.
Oh, big sad.
Rip, dude.
Okay, I say. I go to get a McDonald's breakfast. Now, the best place, side note, the best place to get breakfast at a quote-unquote breakfast place in America, at like a fast food kind of location, is undoubtedly Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel is easily the best place to get a
Cracker
nice
Barrel
breakfast.
is really good.
Yes.
Yeah, I respect that opinion.
Yeah,
Cracker
I
Barrel,
respect that
best
too.
place to get breakfast in America. Amazing. With maybe a close second, maybe being IHOP. But I don't go to IHOP as often. Cracker Barrel is where it's at. But there's only fast food around. McDonald's breakfast burritos, fucking amazing. Quite good. Honestly, really good. So, and that's that, and I love them. They're amazing. So I go and get my McDonald's breakfast burritos. And I sit back down. I'm just sitting there. And in my head, I'm like, so this is where this is all led up to. Me sitting here in a Rochester airport terminal, eating 2
I've been to that
McDonald's
airport.
breakfast burritos. You have?
Rochester
It's a nice
or
airport.
Rensselaer?
Rochester, I think.
Wait, did you say RPI or RIT?
No, it was RPI, but I think my mom found a cheaper flight out of wherever.
What the
I don't
fuck?
know. It could have been.
Rochester is like so far away from
Yeah,
Rensselaer.
no.
I
Rochester's in Mass on the East Coast. So
Then it was probably
No.
Rensselaer. I don't
There
know.
is a
No,
Rochester, New York.
Rochester, New York is upstate. It's like
oh, okay.
it's near Buffalo.
Hold up, wait a
I didn't
minute.
know
Then
there
it
was
was
another
probably
one.
Rensselaer, if I'm being completely honest. Hold up.
I'm not up to date on my New York town lore.
Near New York floor.
Lol.
Hold up. Rensselaer Airport map. You know, if I search up the airport map, you think it would give me a map of the airport. It's not doing that for me. What's
What
the
is it
map?
giving you?
It's giving Jasper County Airport map. That's not it. It's an airport close to RPI. Which one is it, Matthew?
Yeah,
You're from New York.
Rochester. No, I don't know Rensselaer too well. I know Rochester because my grandma lives there, but I don't know Rensselaer.
No, Matthew, it was
Rensselaer-
Rochester. It was the Rochester Airport. I recognize this shape. It was
Oh.
definitely the Rochester Airport.
Can we pause for a second? Why the hell did you go all the way to Rochester to fly to Baltimore?
I don't know. Is there a closer airport? Is there a closer international airport to RPI? I don't know. It was either Rochester or it was a different airport. I can't remember.
I do not know.
Matthew, this is your territory.
I feel like the New York City airports are closer than Rochester is to Rensselaer.
Hold up, wait a minute.
Yeah, isn't
Rensselaer's in Albany, bro.
Yeah, you'd be faster going to isn't there a Westchester County Airport?
Yeah, there's a Westchester.
That's 2 hours south.
Dude, Rochester is so
Rochester
far
would be-
away from
Rochester would be
Rensselaer.
like 2 hours north.
No,
I see that.
Rochester
Is
would
there-
be like
is
5
there-
hours west.
Oh,
Then
wow.
was it the Albany Airport? I can't. What airport is
Probably.
close to there? What
That
airport
It's
is close to
probably
there?
Albany.
What international airport is close to there? Hold up.
I imagine it was Albany. You look up pictures and
Albany
see if it matches your sad memories.
airports. There is an Albany International Airport.
International Airport. You know what? It was Albany. I think it was Albany. I can't remember.
Yikes.
This was 4.5 years ago, something like that. 5.5 years
It's
ago.
okay,
It was a
Ethan.
long time ago.
It's okay.
Anyways, I'm sitting in the Albany airport, eating my 2 breakfast burritos. Just thinking about the events that led up to this happening. I'm quite tired. I've been up since 3. Just thinking. Just wow. This is where this has led me. You know? And so I decided to go back to sleep.
Mhm.
Now I was smart. Again, I set an alarm. I woke up to set an alarm. And
You slept through your flight, and you're here a 3rd day. Oh yeah.
And I get on the plane. Yeah, so the plane is ready, and I get on the plane, and I think this one went off fine. There was a tiny delay, but it went off fine, and I finally get back to Baltimore. I come into Baltimore at 3 in the afternoon, like a good day later than I was supposed to get back, and yeah, that's it. That's my weirdest travel experience, being stuck in the Albany airport for a good day.
That's rough.
That's
Yeah.
really rough.
That is
How
rough.
long-
That's brutal.
How many consecutive hours were you in that airport?
How many consecutive hours? So
Was it
I
more
got there
or
the
less than
morning.
24?
So I got there the morning of. So I got there the morning of my flight. So I was there at 7, and I didn't leave that airport until maybe 1 in the afternoon. So
The
it was a
next
good,
day.
yeah, 1 the next day. So it was
Jeez,
over
dude.
24 hours.
Yeah, it was like 30-ish hours.
I remember one thing I did to keep my to keep active, to just do something. I remember this was the summer that Pokemon Go released, so I was, and there was 3 or so Pokestops at the airport.
Nice.
Yeah, one. So it's kind of like a plus sign, a half a plus sign, I think. Kind of is how it's shaped. There's the right end, the left end, and the top end, and there was a Pokestop at each end. So I would like every
Wow.
hour or so, I would just go and hit each one.
Nice.
That
Yeah.
sounds fun.
Sounds like you
It
were getting
wasn't fun. It was
you
not
were
fun.
getting exercise, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's good for
I
you.
looked at this same sculpture like
After
20
sitting
times.
in an
It was
airport for 30 hours.
it was so boring. I was so bored. I tried. I could watch YouTube, but it's like there's only so much content you can watch on YouTube before you get
Yeah,
bored. You
I
know,
feel that. Yeah.
I was saving my show for later that night when I was truly well and bored.
You gotta
And-
ration your entertainment.
Oh yes, of course. And I just that's
Ethan.
that's probably my weirdest travel experience, if I'm being completely honest.
Ethan, are you telling me you did not come prepared with your Nintendo 3DS?
See, I actually never owned a 3DS. I only owned
What?
the DS.
Really?
I never
The
so
3DS was
I
so
never-
good.
3DS was okay, but a lot of the 3DS games also released on the DS. So it's like I
Is
just
that true?
Not
I
Ocarina
think
of Time
so.
3D.
hold
That
up.
was a good game. I know a
That
lot
was
of
a
people skipped
damn
out
good
on the
game.
3DS.
See, I skipped out on 3DS because I already had a DS. Why did I need one that was in 3D?
Smash
I
Brothers.
think that was my thinking. Okay, but it's like this is like Ethan doesn't care. Little Ethan doesn't care. He has his DS.
Small
He's happy.
boy
you know,
Ethan.
small boy Ethan's
Are
happy.
we going
He
back
has,
to the
yes.
long boy? The small lad but long boy conversation again?
Small boy, long lad.
That's what it was.
Mhm.
Small boy, long lad. I don't know. I just never got a 3DS. It was just something that was never on my radar. I had my DS. I was happy with it. It worked well.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people
Did you
skipped
bring
out
your
on it. But
DS or
What?
did you bring your DS or
I had
Or what?
really primarily stopped playing on my DS at that point because I was in high school. And there was like a period of time where I stopped playing a lot of single player games because I lost interest, if I'm being completely honest.
big sad?
And I really stopped playing
Mhm.
video games in general. But yeah. So I was quite bored, stuck in the Albany airport, just doing nothing.
that's a classic travel story. Stuck in the airport for like 2
It
days.
is.
Yes, it was it was an experience, to say the least. 'Twas an experience.
Mm-hmm. So I don't go on like a ton of vacations with my family. We've done a few, big ones, but we try to save money and all that.
Yeah.
I know my mom, by the time that she was my age now, had already been to Europe like 4 times. So, I'm not salty, but whatever. But the most traveling I've ever done was definitely for when I went to Iceland for school,
Yeah.
and that was, besides going to Canada, my first time leaving the country. I was the first of my sisters to go to Europe, and I hold that over their heads quite often because Iceland is technically Europe.
Is Iceland in the EU?
No, actually.
So then
They're
how is
Europe,
it
but they're
Europe? Wait,
not-
wait. Then how is it Europe?
Because it's the continent of Europe. Europe is more than just the European Union.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Ethan. God.
Yeah, come on, Ethan.
Otherwise, what is the UK not in Europe?
Okay, but the UK, do they do
UK
Brexit?
is not a continent. Yes, they
Brexit, I
did.
think,
Yeah, they
happened,
did Brexit. Yeah.
Brexit happened,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you know what? UK ain't part of Europe anymore, anyways.
Ethan,
Ain't in the
it's still,
European
it's
Union.
still,
That's
it's still
Ethan's hot take.
geographically part of the continent.
Even if it's
Left
not
the EU,
politically,
they're gone. Like they don't
It's
exist.
still part of the continent.
Bye.
It is still a
God.
landmass close to Europe.
it's not politically European Union, but it is geographically Europe.
They might as well
Yes.
not even be there. Honestly.
Regardless,
Okay, dude.
Iceland's actually in a very unique political situation in regards to European politics and all of that fun stuff. Iceland is a very interesting political system as well because of the I could go on about Iceland's history, but basically they had they got hit hard in 2008 in the financial crisis, and they just instead of just sort of like bailing out all their businesses and foreclosing on every house that ever existed and, you know, ruining everyone's life, they actually jailed the bankers who were responsible. They held them criminally
Jesus
accountable.
Christ.
Damn.
Only country in the world to jail
Holy
bankers
shit.
after 2008. It's a fun fact. The entire government stepped down also, and the people rewrote their own
What?
constitution.
Wow.
That's
In
It's
2008 this happened? Holy
Yeah,
shit.
2008. They drafted a group of, you know, socially and politically conscious civilians, and they had them pen their own constitution, and it is technically still being processed, because you can imagine it's a very complicated process to draft and then vote
To
into
basically redo your whole government.
an entire government. But there's a bunch of political roadblocks that people are throwing in the way because they don't want, you know, this, it's called the Citizens Constitution. They don't want it going into law because politics. But I don't necessarily have one specific story from Iceland, but I have a small amalgamation, like a smorgasbord of stories. One, Matt, that you reminded me of. So Dublin, I imagine, is a fairly large city.
Yeah,
Right.
I would say it's fairly large,
It's
yeah.
the capital of Ireland. The thing with, thing with Iceland and Reykjavik in general is Reykjavik is around 200,000.
Yeah.
Which is not a lot.
It's pretty
really.
small.
The entirety of Iceland's only 300,000. So, basically anywhere that you were in the city, there would be a club near you.
Yeah.
Where we were
course, yeah.
specifically,
Club
there really isn't a club district. The whole city is very party oriented.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's the capital. It's gonna be like that, you know?
Mm-hmm. There's also a really weird sort of mindset that Icelanders have. It's called, like, I don't know if there's a word for it, but it's basically like work hard, very industrious on the weekdays, and then absolutely party crazy on the weekends.
So it's basically business in the front, party in the back.
Exactly, yeah. And so, just like your story, I would lie in bed, especially on Fridays and Saturday nights, listening to the club music drifting in through my window. And it wasn't, I don't think there was one directly underneath us. We were above a coffee shop. The closest one was around the corner. My window didn't face it, so it wasn't that bad. But on some nights it did get pretty loud. And I remember specifically one specific night I was lying in bed. It was probably like 1:30, maybe 2 a.m. And I hear a song, you know, an EDM club song coming through my window, and it sounded really familiar, and I couldn't quite place it. I knew I had heard it before, and it was I just assumed it was probably some like popular song or whatever.
Was it Darude Sandstorm?
I wish. I actually did hear Darude Sandstorm one night, but this was a different song. And so I'm just lying there, like, listening to the music. I'm like, what is that? It's got a nice, like, catchy beat to it, but there's no words that I can discern. And then the beat suddenly stops, and the lyrics come in, and I hear it, and I instantly realize what it is, because the lyrics are, "I'm the bad guy."
Oh god.
Good meme.
And I was like, oh right, I know this song. But yeah, it was never quite as bad as your story.
That's good to hear.
Also, something else that happened in Iceland. The project that we were doing, I might have told, I'm sure Ro knows the story, but I don't know if I told the full story to the rest of you. The project we were supposed to do involved citizen participation in government, and like voting on a with a third party platform to send bills and like motions and stuff up to be voted actually by Congress, and a few things actually did go through. It was a fairly interesting system that actually worked very well. But there was a miscommunication when this organization was contacting us for what we were supposed to do. We assumed they wanted to poll their Icelandic citizens, which is the point of the project we were doing, was to, go around to the people that were actually there, interview them, find out what they thought, and produce a research report on, what were the best options to accomplish the organization's goal. But they didn't quite clarify what we were supposed to do, and so when we got there, they said, oh, we read your report, it was really nice, but we don't actually care about the Icelandic people. We already have them. They already participate. What we want is for you to talk to American people and find out what they can do if we want to move our project to somewhere in America. And that's not at all the purpose of the project in the slightest. They wanted us to gauge American citizen participation in a project like they were doing, and also look for grant funding for their American organization. And we're like, okay, but why are we in Iceland to do this? And there was a whole big problem. We contacted our advisors about it, and they were like, yeah, that's actually a problem. Okay, we'll meet with them. And we met with them, and we had a 2-hour, really, really awkward discussion as to whether or not we could do this project. Our advisors were like, here's the final deal. You can either give these students a different project, or we will give them a different project, and you will no longer be involved.
Oh God.
Oh man.
And so this was the morning of our advisor meeting, and so that afternoon, my group mates and I, we go out to lunch, and we go to this wonderful Icelandic lamb stew street cafe. It was fantastic, really, really good. And so we're sitting there and we're telling some of our friends about this whole ordeal. And at the exact same time, I can check the timestamps on these emails. They were the exact same second. We get 2 emails. Each of us gets 2. One from the organization that we were supposed to be working for, basically saying, sorry guys, we're not going to give you a project. You're on your own. We appreciate the work you've done for us thus far, but we're going to have to sever our connections here. And another from our advisors saying, we have decided, in the lack of action from your sponsors, from your organization, that we were going to sever the project ourselves. Please do not contact the organization. We will do it on our own terms, and we'll get into contact with you in the future.
My God.
So somehow, just surrealistly, 2 different people, 2 different groups decided at the same time, the same consensus, and so we didn't have to do anything. We ended up getting our own project, and this ties into the next story, which was our project was on assessing hiking trails and the accessibility. And not really important, but the important part was we went on a lot of hikes.
Yeah.
And one of the trails we went to go to, it was probably an hour and a half out of Reykjavik, so we had to take a bus. And on the way there, interesting little fact, the bus had to go almost vertically up this mountain, and then had to swerve down this switchback road to this tiny little town that's in the valley. Iceland is beautiful, by the way. Iceland is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, I bet. Holy shit.
That as we get to the top of this mountain, before we go down, it just starts snowing.
Oh no.
Like nobody's business. And then we get to the other side of the mountain, we start going down, and it just stops. It was only snowing on top of this mountain. Very surreal.
That's
Very
really cool,
although.
actually.
And so we get to this town, and while it wasn't snowing on the other side of the mountain, it was definitely raining.
Oh no.
It was definitely raining
Oh.
very heavy. And all of us in our infinite wisdom did not think to bring umbrellas. Actually, I don't think, we didn't
Sad.
pack umbrellas on our way to Iceland. We didn't think.
No.
You don't bring
It's
an
not
umbrella.
really something you think about.
You
Yeah.
don't bring an umbrella when you're hiking.
Who needs an umbrella, honestly?
We were
Yeah.
provided umbrellas, but
I eventually did get one.
I
at my
like running
hotel
around
later.
in the rain, so. No, I'm totally joking there.
I can totally picture you frolicking in the rain.
Yeah, it's like singing in the rain type shit. It's like
Mhm.
me dancing in the streets while it's raining.
Yeah. God.
So we get off the bus stop and we're in this tiny like town. I can't even call it a town. It was basically a village. Like I could have walked from one end to the other in probably 10 minutes.
Mhm.
It was this tiny little thing, very like grid based. And so we were told, and based on our research, that the hiking trail was back behind this town, and it was a hot springs trail. So we were very excited to go into these hot springs in the cold rain and all that. So we follow the road to the back of the town, and there's this road that goes like out behind the town, back through the mountains again, and we see like one sign for the hiking trail that we're looking for. I'm like, okay, we'll try and follow that. And we see a golf course. We're like, okay, based on the Google Maps we'd been looking at before we got here, because there's no internet out here in the middle of nowhere at this point, it's behind this golf course. And this was probably like a 20-minute walk to this golf course at this point. And so we're wandering around this golf course trying to find the hiking trail start. And we see there's this little like house in the middle of the golf course. And one of our group mates very bravely knocks on this random house in the middle of the Icelandic wilderness.
Good
Just
for
says, hey, I'm
him.
looking for a hiking trail. And they told us, oh yeah, it's over there, as he points down a hill, across a river, at another road. And he says, you want to follow that road for another 15 minutes or something.
Oh my
Keep in mind,
god.
it's still pouring rain. Constantly pouring rain.
Mhm.
So we group back up and we have a short discussion, and the group consensus is that this is a lost cause. It is done, it is dead. We are not backtracking 20 minutes to walk another like 30 minutes to find the start, mind you, the start of the hiking trail, which we've been told is at least an hour and a half long one way. And it's not one that loops.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
So we call it a lost cause. We chalk it up to bad communication and weather. I was freezing cold at this point because I didn't bring a proper jacket. But
Damn.
and we ended up using this in our report to make fun of how poorly accessible this hiking trail was. So it all worked out. But we walk our way back down the hill, back into this town. And we did this in the morning, so we're all really hungry, and we want somewhere to go inside so that we're not getting rained on still. And Icelandic rain is cold, very, very cold. It's the kind of, remember, if we were a couple hundred more feet up, this would have been snow.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we go into this building that looks like a cafe, and two people that are sitting there turn and look at us and start talking to us in Icelandic, and we're confused, obviously, and eventually they realize we don't speak Icelandic, and they tell us, oh, we're closed. We don't open for another like hour and a half. We're like, oh, sick, wonderful, okay. So we walk down the street a little more, and we see another restaurant, also closed. So we get all the way back to the front of this town. And I say front because it literally had like a front with next to the highway, and then the rest was just like boxed off by mountains.
Mm-hmm.
And the only place that is like public and will let us in is a gas station. So we sit and we wait in this tiny gas station for our bus to come back, and the buses only ran like every 4 hours.
Oh my god.
So-
Jeez.
So
So it was like an Ethan waiting in the airport type situation for the bus to come.
it wasn't like 20 hours of waiting. It was like maybe an hour and a half of waiting, and I'm starving. So I'm looking at this gas station, and they're selling food here, and they have like a little menu of like bakery items. I'm like, oh, sick! I'm gonna get like a chocolate muffin. Everything's gonna be fine. And I get the courage up, and I walk up, and I'm like, hey man, can I get like a muffin? And he looks at me and he says in like broken English, sorry, only hot dog.
Only hot dog.
Oh my god.
And I stopped for a moment. I'm like, yeah, that's fine.
So good.
And so I have my sad gas station hot dog at like 10 in the morning.
Oh.
Hey, that
Although,
sounds like a healthy breakfast to me, you know?
Yeah, honestly.
to be fair, Icelandic hot dogs are very good. Hot dogs are the unofficial official food of Iceland
Well,
for some
is
reason.
there any difference between American hot dogs and Icelandic hot dogs?
Icelandic hot dogs are a little bit longer. Typically, they're like
Mhm.
closer to like foot longs. They're not quite a foot long, but also they have different like conventional toppings. You know, if you get one here, you can expect like ketchup, mustard, maybe
Mustard,
relish.
yeah.
Yeah.
Over there, they have some special sauce. I don't remember what it's called. I can look it up while I talk about the other one. But one of the big things that they have is crispy onions.
Ooh.
That sounds good.
Put them on the bun before they put the hot dog on, so that it's like
Ooh.
it doesn't fall off or anything.
Mhm.
Very good. So it looks like the sauce is called remoulade.
Oh, remoulade. Okay,
If you've
I've
heard of
never
that.
heard of that.
I have heard of that.
Remoulade, a sauce made with mayo, capers, mustard, and herbs.
Ooh, that sounds pretty good.
According to IcelandAirHotels.com, it is a steamed bun topped with raw white onions and crispy fried onions, ketchup, sweet brown mustard called pilsusinap, and remoulade. Yeah, that sounds about right based on the hot dogs I had.
Dang, that sounds really good.
It is excellent. They do hot dogs very well, but the gas station hot dog was still quite good, but didn't live up to the other Icelandic hot dogs I had. I had a lot of Icelandic hot dogs. There's a famous hot dog stand in downtown Reykjavik that's only famous for, or it's famous because it's been there for a very long time and it's been moved by a crane 4 separate times because construction has been displacing it. But in the early 90s, Bill Clinton
Wait, so-
waited in line.
It must
Dog
be a
there.
pretty small place then.
Oh yeah, it's like probably the width of my desk and the length of 2 of my desks.
Oh God.
Oh,
It's
jeez.
a small red like shed, and they can pick it up by a crane and put it wherever they want. Yeah, Bill Clinton famously waited in line for a hot dog there when he was visiting Iceland. They are
Wait, in that
very
exact same gas station?
good. The hot dog stand, the famous hot dog
Not
stand.
the gas
Oh,
station,
okay. I was.
Ethan.
I was confused.
No, the gas hot dog was probably the worst Icelandic hot dog I had, but it was still better than a fair amount of hot dogs I've had here. Yeah, I believe that's the end of that story. There was definitely something else. Oh, there's one other story, also food related. This is an embarrassing story, but it's for the
I'd
fans.
love to hear
so,
it.
For the
Um,
fans,
so-
what fans?
For all of our
Don't
boys,
say that, Ethan.
Mm,
So, like the first weekend or second weekend that I was in Reykjavik, they had a food truck festival, and so there was this like basketball court down by the waterfront that they had just commandeered and filled with food trucks.
Mhm.
And the thing with Iceland and Reykjavik especially is like there is a lot of traditional restaurants, but there is so much just like foreign things done in like a Reykjavik style, or even just done like very authentically and very well. It's a really, really good place to go if you're into food and trying new things. Which I am sometimes, but at this time I wasn't feeling it. So there was nothing I really, really wanted. Eventually I settled on it was like a lamb taco kind of, but the taco was pita bread. And there was like little
So it's
lamb
like a
meatballs.
pocket
So it's a
of
soft
lamb.
shell.
Kind of,
taco,
yeah, but it was pita bread. It wasn't like tortilla bread.
So
It was
it
a
was
little
just
bit
like
thicker.
it was like a pocket, like kind of
Yeah.
just of lamb.
And
Yeah.
and there was some type of cheese in it, and there was some like spinachy type leaf, and I think there was couscous in it as well.
Mm.
It was very good. It
Couscous
was
is
very
very
good.
good.
And very cheap as well. Food truck food is always cheap and very good. But
Yeah.
And so me and my friends, we all order from this place, and the way they did it was basically they were like almost constantly making them in the back and then just putting them out for people to take once they bought them. But the supply was so high that they were generally just making them as people ordered, because there were always people waiting for them.
Mhm.
But there was one sitting out on the rack for display. So I walk up and I pay and give them my Icelandic krona, and he turns and he puts and he says thank you, and I in my head says, okay, like, you paid for food, now you get food. My mind sees food, so I take food, and so
Oh,
I take the display one.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Dude, no.
Oh,
buddy.
No.
And based on the temperature of the food I ate, it had probably been there for a number of hours.
Ugh, dude. Ugh. Oh
I mean,
my
to be
god.
It was like cold-ish. It was still very good, but I realized I paid for like the hot food. I want, like, if this is what it tastes like cold, I want it like fresh. So I'm talking to my friend Nicole, and I'm like, Nicole, I think I did this, and she's like, Smith, you did. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like pretty certain I did. And she's
Oh
like,
my
what do you want
God.
to do? I'm like, I want my food. She's like, do you think you can like go back? I'm like, probably, but I'm gonna regret it internally. I'm gonna look back on this moment
Forever.
for the rest of my life and hate myself. She's like, yeah, but like, you want this food, right? I'm like, yeah. So
And now it will
So
be
I-
immortalized on the internet forever.
and so I go back, and
Oh,
you know,
no pressure or
I
anything.
wait in a short line, and I walk up and I'm like, hey, I was just here a few minutes, and immediately the guy starts laughing.
Oh,
He knew. The man knew.
Oh no.
And I'm like, I think I took the display. And he's like, yeah, you did. And I'm like, would it be all right if I? And he's like, yeah, it's fine. And he takes
Aw.
the display one, he throws it out, and then he hands me a fresh one. And I'm like, I'm really sorry. And he and the woman behind are just laughing. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna kill myself. Bye. And I walk away, and it was so worth it. It was so good.
At least it was worth it in the end, you know?
Yeah.
Food was so good. But that's a low point in my life.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, that
Good.
leaves one more person.
Ayo. Okay. So, I've been on a wide array of vacations. I've gone to a couple of places, but I too shall give a few like little mini stories. So I went to Japan last year for 7 weeks, and I'm very much a planner. I like knowing things. I like scheduling things. I like knowing where I need to be and how I'm going to get there and all that good stuff.
Yep.
So I was usually in charge of like figuring out the travel in Japan, which was fine. Like their train systems were very easy to navigate and all
Mhm.
that good stuff. And I was always the one who was like, "Hey, who wants to go to Tokyo Disney?" No? Okay, let me go to every single person individually and then ask them. And then they'll say yes. And then I got like this list of people. So like that's kind of how I roll. So my
Yeah.
first little mini story. The way that they set us up for housing was half of the group who went to Japan lived here. I'm just gonna say in point A, that's where I was.
Hmm.
And then the other half lived like a half an hour walk away at point B. Fine, okay, doesn't matter for me because my team all lives in the same area. However, on like the first day that we're all there, the advisors are like, hey, let's all meet in point B and have an advisor meeting. Sure,
Oh
okay.
no.
Ooh.
So it's fine. Like since there's a big group of us going, we all just split a bunch of taxis. We give them the address and we just take a ride there. Sure, okay. We have our meeting, all that good stuff. Okay. Now we're about to go our separate ways. Some of these guys want to go to get alcohol over there, and these guys, they want to walk around and go shopping over there. I was tired, my friend was tired, and one other guy wanted to go back home. So we're like, okay, let's go. But we were kind of in that mindset where we're like, we don't want to spend unnecessary money. We know exactly how to get back. You just got to take it's literally just a straight line back. and then you're back in like the housing district of where our house was. So we start walking. We recognize the big gym that we walked by and the food store and all that good stuff. And we walk into the area that our house was in. And the way, let's think. So the way that the houses were set up was like, they were like little apartments perfectly put together in like a grid formation. You just had to find the right row that they were in. And I kid you not, we walk up, we take a right, our house was the next left, and we missed it.
Oh,
so we kept going straight. We are now in unfamiliar territory. We have no idea where we are. We literally missed it by a single turn. It was so bad. So now we
You
are
just had to go straight. Oh no.
I understand. You had to go straight, and then you were in like the housing area. And then you had to find where your house was. It was literally, you go a little straight, it was a right, and then a left. And it was there. And we missed the left. So we are now stuck in this grid of houses, and they all look the same because we only just arrived in Japan. We have no bearings of where we are because we're literally just in a housing district. So there's no shops or stores or any kind of landmarks that you can recognize.
Yeah, with Tokyo being a very dense city, too.
It was so bad. So we're stuck walking around. None of us have internet, so we can't look up Google Maps.
Yeah.
We don't have signal, so we can't call anyone. We're aimlessly walking around. I open up Pokemon Go, and I'm like, maybe this will help. And I'm like,
Nope.
Well, there was a Pokestop that was like a little bit away from my house. Maybe this will work. It, like,
Pokemon will save us.
There's
I know, it kinda got us in the right
Japan,
direction.
Pokemon will save us.
It was so bad. I
Pikachu
ended
will
up
save
getting.
me.
I know, right? I ended up getting signal, and I called one of my team members, and I'm like, "Hey, we're lost." And he's like, "No kidding. We've been back for like an hour."
Holy
We had been walking
shit.
around
So you've been
for like
wandering
2
around
hours.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
It was so bad. Oh my god. Eventually, we make it to the rice shop. And the rice shop is a block away from our house. I'm like, guys, I know where we are. The rice shop, we just gotta go this way, and then it's there. And after like 3 hours of walking around and it getting dark, we finally find our house. and like at that moment, we agreed, if we want to get somewhere, we will just pay the
Google
money and
Maps.
take a taxi. Because it was
Taxi.
one of the most stressful things ever. But that was one traveling mishap. Number 2. So, as I said, I was the one who planned most of the activities that me and my group went to. Whether that be like my team group or just like my friends. So the first weekend, we were going into Tokyo and we were going to like a museum. Sure, okay. So when I asked around, only 2 other people wanted to come. Great. I booked a one of those pod hotels. I booked it for 3 people.
Yeah.
Yep. I booked it for 3 people. Perfect. One other kid says, "Hey, I want to come." I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to tell him, "No, you can't come with us." And I was just coming from a family of 5. Usually when you go to a hotel, you pay for 4, and then the 5th person just kind of sneaks in and sleeps on the floor. Like, that's always what we've done. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. We'll just sneak them in, and we'll just all live together in this room of 3. It's fine.
Ooh. The pod hotels are very small. This probably didn't end well.
So I was in charge of getting us there, which was fine. We had 2 portable Wi-Fi blocks at this point. So I got us on the right trains. I got us on the right sub-trains. We are now at this train station, and Google Maps tells me it's like a 10-minute walk to get to this hotel. Perfectly fine. Now, I won't be able to perfectly describe this walk to you, but I think I was trespassing because this path was like this dirt road in people's backyards. I don't know why Google Maps thought that this was an acceptable place to travel, but whatever. I make it there with my team behind me, and I go and check in, and I say, "Hi, I'm Rowena. I got a room. And he's like, perfect, this is your room. And I'm like, great. And the 4 of us start to head upstairs. And he goes, wait, hold on. Only 3 of you are allowed up. And it's like 11 o'clock at night.
Oh no. Oh man.
God.
And I'm freaking out because, oh my god, this kid who wanted to join us isn't going to be able to sleep. Like, what's going to happen? Oh my god, like, what's going to happen? So we send 2 of our teammates up. I stay with the kid who was like the kid. And so I wait with him as like they try to figure things out. It takes them like 15 minutes for the guy behind the desk to kind of understand what we're saying and figure out like, oh, we just need a room for 1. Like, we don't care how much it is. We just need a room. Eventually, all is well and good. We end up getting a room. All is good. It's fine.
Nice.
But, okay. There was a lot of like traveling mishaps. I tried my best, and I was always the one in charge. It was another one of those things where like, oh, let's go shopping. So we took a bus and we went like 10 stops away from our house. And we're like, cool, we'll start here and we'll head back home. We have a portable Wi-Fi block thing. We can make it home. We got lost, of course, but it's fine, whatever. Like, we were always good enough to like leave early in the day. So like, we were never gonna have the same mistake of like leaving super late at night, but whatever, it's fine. 2 more. Again, we're going to Tokyo Disney. There's 6 of us. We, like, the front desk closes at like 6 o'clock at night. A couple of these people have like team meetings that go until 4. It's gonna take us at least 3 to 4 hours to get there. So I need to try and set up a late check-in, but I don't speak Japanese, and I don't know if these people will understand me.
Yeah.
I have one of my teammates who like kind of knows Japanese. I'm like, okay, look, you just need to say like these 10 words and just kind of like tell them that I'm going to be a little late. He does it. We're all good. Okay. We get on the train. We head there. All is good, except our train was delayed. So instead of checking in at like 8 o'clock, I don't think we're going to get there until midnight.
Oh no.
So it's under my name. So I'm like, okay, guys, here's the deal. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get there first. I'm going to check us in. You guys just need to get there eventually. There were 6 of us going. We split off into 2s. Me and this other girl named Nikki went ahead. We get to the hotel, fine. There was like a couple trains, a couple buses, but it like was straightforward. We check in and we say, hey, we're here to check in. And they're like, oh, well, you can't actually check in until all of your party members are here.
Oh my god.
What?
So we sit in the
That's like
lobby.
Why?
overcomplicated.
What's the point of that?
I don't.
That's overcomplicating things.
Yeah, because I don't know if it was. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way that they do things. One of our teammates was 17, and he had to have parents' permission to be there with us.
Damn.
Because the legal age is.
Jeez.
No, what is it? No, he was 19. He was turning 20 or 21. Doesn't matter. His birthday was the next day, but he was technically the day we were checking in, like underage. So I think since we had to say yes, he's underage, we had to wait for him to come in with his little permission slip from his parents, which we forged. That said, like, yes, he's allowed to live with us. Because, like, how are we supposed to have his parents sign this little dinky permission slip that says, yes, I'm allowing my son to room with these people? Doesn't matter. So me and Nikki are sitting in the lobby. I'm freaking out. At least I've made it. Like, it's fine. I'm here. But 4 of our party members are not back. The next 2 show up, like, an hour after us. We're like, great, okay, we just need to wait for the last 2. The last 2 take another additional hour to get there. And what was the reason? Well, one of the guys who has, like, free Wi-Fi, instead of using it to, like, look on Google Maps and figure out what trains and buses he had to go on, he used it for Pokemon Go. So they were just kind of wandering around aimlessly, trying to find the right way. But
Oh no.
whatever, it's fine. We got there. Ugh, it's so stressful trying to coordinate stuff. And then
Yeah, especially in like a foreign country like that. Like
Yeah, and, like,
literally anything could change.
I would have had no problem with calling the front desk and saying, "Hey, I need a late check-in. This is why." But like, I don't know the language at all.
Yeah, well, it's like if you
And-
don't speak Japanese, how the fuck are you supposed to do anything?
And like, a lot of Japanese people, like a lot of people that I interacted with, knew a lot of English. But I didn't want to inconvenience them when I was already inconveniencing them by asking for a late checkup. So it was such a mess. But whatever, it's fine. And then the last one was, what was it? Hold on. I had it. Oh, God. Okay. So at the beginning of our time there, a Pokemon Cafe was opening in Tokyo.
yes.
It was opening. And so we're like, that's sick. We're going to go. So we set it up. We took like the latest time slot possible just because we were in Kyoto. Like our house was in Kyoto.
Oh,
and
you were in
Tokyo is
Kyoto,
a-
not Tokyo?
Yeah. We spent most of our
Okay.
time in Kyoto.
Okay.
And so like the train ride to Tokyo is like 2 hours plus.
Yeah. It's
Whatever.
far away.
Yeah. The worst thing about this is I'm very on time. I would get there in time, but these boys that I was traveling with didn't care or didn't realize how stressed I would get or didn't realize that if you miss your reservation time, you cannot go in. Like our reservation time was at 9 o'clock. If you weren't there by 9:30, they wouldn't let you in. Whew.
Oh god.
So 2 of our party members, there's 6 of us, 2 of our party members have group meetings until whatever time.
Yeah.
Fine, whatever. They don't get to our house because remember, most of the students were living in either location A or location B. These students lived in location B. So not only did their meeting run late, but they were half an hour away from us. Finally, whatever, we get together, we get on the train to the main train station. We can now take a train from there to Tokyo. We're now in Tokyo. There's like one train that'll take us to like the mall that this cafe is at. While looking at the train schedule, says, wait, look, if we take trains X and Y, we'll get there sooner than if we just take train Z. So I lead my group to train X and we get on it. Great. We're now on the platform waiting for train 9. My phone says it's supposed to arrive at 9:15. Remember, my reservation
9:30.
ends at 9:30.
Yep.
Okay, it's now 9:17. The train hasn't arrived yet, but that's fine. There's another one coming at 9:19. 9:19 comes around and there's not a train coming.
No.
And I start freaking out. Oh my god, I just led my group to the wrong state. Like, I don't know what was wrong. Like, I don't know if just this set of trains wasn't working or what. But I deliberately said, hey guys, let's go on trains X and Y. It'll get us there sooner. And I messed it up. Oh my god. So we run out of this train station. We call down a taxi. The taxi can't fit 6 people. So we
No.
split 3 and 3. Me and 2 other people are in the first car because we need to get there because we're the people with the reservations.
Yeah.
We get to the mall. Oh my god. It's like 9:28. Like, I cannot... It was so close.
Run.
The cafe is on floor 9. So we call the elevator.
Shit.
We are freaking out. Our other group of 3 run in. Elevator opens. We make sure we cram ourselves into that. We get to the 9th floor. We are online. The little reservation now says, like, there's a stand right outside the Pokemon Cafe that says, now accepting reservations for 9:45. We get online. We say, oh my god, we're here. Oh my god, we had a reservation at 9 o'clock. It was 9:30 exactly. I kid you not. We got
You
there.
got
at
in?
exactly
Did you get in?
9:30, and we got in.
Oh, hell yeah.
Nice.
And,
There
like,
you go.
I like even just I'm already like freaking out just thinking about it because I don't like being late. And this was entirely my fault. Because I had said, let's try getting on these trains, trying to cut down on time. there was like a couple train mishaps that I did. Overall, it was easy to navigate. They weren't very difficult, but like we took the train going east instead of west a couple times, like for example, but oh man, did I enjoy that roast beef sandwich once I actually got to sit down and relax.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was that person that had the list of trains leaving Tokyo. I had, okay, there was one leaving at like 10, 10:15, 10:23, and I knew that the last one was at like 11:30. So like I had everything planned. Even when we split and went our separate ways, I said, okay, boys, you guys are gonna go out drinking. That's fine. Have fun. The last train out of Tokyo is 11:30. If you were not on that train, you are not getting back to Kyoto. But that wasn't my problem. They made it back. We made it to the Pokemon Cafe. All is good.
Epic.
All is fine. God.
Bro, can I request a story?
Sure.
Can you retell the pizza story from Kyoto?
Oh no, when you were talking about Icelandic hot dogs, I'm like, man, I have this story about this Japanese pizza, but it doesn't fit into
I'm
traveling
requesting.
stories.
I'm
That's
specifically requesting.
What?
fine.
What?
Okay.
What
That's why
pizza?
I'm
Yeah,
recording.
we need to know now. We need to know.
Okay. So, like I said, we lived in like this district of houses. I'm not gonna guesstimate how like long or wide this district was. Doesn't matter. We were fairly around the edge. So when you left, there was like a busy street. So at the corner of like the entrance street into our housing district was a pizza shop. And I had such a hankering for pizza. I wanted pizza so bad. It'd been like 4 or 5 weeks since having pizza, and I just wanted some gosh darn pizza.
Mhm.
So, me and my 2 group mates head to the pizza store. And I have a very particular palate. I am a very picky eater. I just enjoy a nice cheese pizza.
They
And
didn't
so
have
we
cheese
get-
pizza, did they?
So we get to the store, and they've got their list of pizzas. And man, oh man, I'm in Japan. They've got so much. And all of them have like 5+ toppings on them each. So there's one pizza, and it's literally just a pepperoni pizza. And I go, man, that would be great. I just don't want pepperoni. I'm with my teammate who speaks a little bit of Japanese, and I say, hey, teammate, can you order me like a pepperoni pizza, just no pepperoni? It's like, yeah, sure. And at this window, there were these 3 Japanese men in the pizza shop, and my teammate goes up, he orders his food, orders the other teammate's food, and then orders, and I don't know what the Japanese words are, but I'm just gonna say in English, pepperoni pizza, but no pepperoni. And the guys behind the counter look
That must
very
have given
confused.
them a laugh.
And they're like, what? And he says again, and like I think it's in English, like because I remember him saying, pepperoni pizza, no pepperoni. And these guys are so confused. And we like point to the picture, and we're like, pepperoni pizza, shake our head and wiggle our fingers, no pepperoni. And the guy taking our order goes, oh, turns around, says something in Japanese, and then says, pepperoni pizza, no pepperoni. And the 3 of them start laughing. Like, get a load of this guy. He wants pepperoni pizza with no pepperoni. But like, I couldn't understand them because they were speaking in Japanese. But it was humiliating. It was so bad.
God.
Oh my god! Because he said, pepperoni, but no pepperoni.
Oh,
It was so bad.
That's a good meme.
That is a good meme.
God. I cringe, but it's fine. And I got pizza, and it was good. So,
Yeah,
Was it
see, there
just-
you go.
Was it just
Was
cheese
it
pizza?
cheese
like you
pizza?
wanted?
it was literally just cheese pizza.
Epic.
Hey, at least you got the cheese pizza in the end. You know
I
what?
know, right?
Yep.
It's a win.
And-
At the end of the day, it's a win.
That is
Yeah,
a win-win.
I went a second time, but I didn't go with like my teammate. So me and my friend go, and we're like, okay, the two of us now need to order pepperoni pizza, no pepperoni. They didn't give us as much of a big deal as they did the second time. Maybe they recognized us.
Yeah,
Ugh.
maybe.
But oh my god, it was so bad.
They didn't even have cheese pizza on the menu there?
No. It was
Jeez.
and like they didn't even have like anything close to just a regular cheese pizza, except for a pepperoni pizza. there were like 12 different pizzas, and all of them had like 3+ toppings, at least.
Dang.
And most of them had like 5 toppings.
See, I feel like I would enjoy that though, because you know it's just like such a variety.
Yeah, I got you.
I feel like pizza's different everywhere else in the world.
It is,
I
for
think
sure.
pizza is different even in like the United States.
Yeah, across America. Like, you have the Chicago, like, deep dish pizzas.
I mean,
The New
yeah,
York
but it's like if you
pizzas.
go into like a Papa John's, you know what you're expecting because you're
Yeah.
going into a Papa John's.
But that's a
You get
chain.
Papa
Well, that is a Papa John's pizza as compared to, like, a Domino's pizza, say.
Yeah.
But it's
Even
like
that's
you could go to
different.
like Domino's in like Japan and you'd get something different. I
Would you,
feel.
though? Well, oh, yeah, you
I
would.
feel
You would
like
get
you-
something
I
different,
mean,
yeah.
it's like it's regionally different, you know?
Mhm,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like
Like, the
how
proportion of
McDonald's
ingredients are gonna
around
be
the world.
different. Yeah.
It's like
McDonald's
exactly.
in Japan were fairly like the same, though. I got
Really?
McDonald's like once a week because it was like good stable food that I recognized. It was
Mhm.
fairly similar, and when I
Mhm.
say fairly, I mean like entirely. There were
like they had a Big Mac still.
They had the usual stuff, but then they also had a lot of weirder stuff. Like they had, what did they have? They had special kind of beef. They had like Wagyu beef sandwiches.
Oh
Hamburgers.
yeah, I totally trust
Those
the
must be, like,
Wagyu
expensive,
beef,
though.
McDonald's patty.
Yeah. It was like if you wanted nice cuisine from a McDonald's, that's what you would get.
Jesus Christ, that must be like hella
Mhm.
expensive though.
Yeah, I stuck with chicken nuggets. It's fine.
Oh, how are the Kit Kats over there?
So we
Wait, what's the
got
deal with Kit Kats? What do you mean?
So,
What do you mean,
we
the
have
Kit Kat?
so many
So
flavors.
Kit Kats are really big in Japan because there's this Japanese phrase kito katsu, which means like may you have good luck or something like that. I'm not sure. But it just like coincidentally the candy was named Kit Kat and it just bore this resemblance to this phrase that they say to mean like good
No
luck.
way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Kit Kats are
So-
like that popular.
They have like they have like literally dozens more flavors of Kit Kats in Japan than they do in the rest of the world.
See,
Yeah, I
I'm just
think I
used to
tried, like,
regular
4.
old Kit Kats, you know, just nice good old chocolate Kit Kats.
You
I
can
think
go
I-
to you can go to like an H Mart if you've ever heard of those here in
Yeah, of
America.
course.
They have
Yeah.
like Japanese and Asian imported stuff. I've had green tea Kit Kats from there. Those are quite
Yeah, there are green
I-
tea Kit Kats.
And I think I've had a strawberry Kit Kat. They rarely show up in.
Ethan, I'll
in
send
H
you a
Mart.
link here.
Send me a link.
But I remember when you came back, you and Nikki had all that food, and you had some.
Yeah, we had a
some
couple
new-
Kit Kats.
You
We
there
had
was like a sake Kit Kat,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, there's a
The
sake Kit
Kat's
Kat.
there was
kinda nasty.
sake, we had apple, we had
There was a lemon one. The lemon one was disgusting. I remember
Yeah,
that.
there was a
Lemon one
strawberry.
so nasty.
there was a tea, there was like a
They have several
Uh,
sake ones actually.
yeah.
The
The
tea one
second
was
one was kind
okay,
of
I
gross
think.
too.
Wait, was it the lemon one that was nasty, or was it the tea? I don't remember.
I think both. I think both of them were gross. Even
They have
like I love
ruby-
apple. The apple one was kind of weird
No,
too.
I think I liked the apple one, but
They have ruby, chocolate, nuts, plus
Ruby.
cranberry. It looks like they've like put like some sort of weird sprinkles on top of it, or like some sort of like little bits and pieces of chocolate and stuff on top of the Kit Kat, and it's like a pink Kit Kat
Hmm.
too. Just looking at this website here.
when you guys were talking about pizza, it reminded me there was a down the street from the hotel I stayed at was what's supposedly supposed to be one of the best pizza places in Europe. It's called Elsmithjan, and this is in Iceland.
Which may or may not be in Europe.
It
Okay, dude.
Wow.
And the pizzas that I had were definitely very good, but they had some wild pizza types. There was, I think, the strangest one that we had when my family came to visit after my project was over. We ordered out from there like once or twice, and it was a regular pizza. It was like kind of a little more flatbready than like, you know, a standard puffy crust, but it had like spinach, bacon, green apple slices, and maple syrup.
Wow.
Dang.
Interesting.
It was pretty good, not gonna lie. I liked it. But it was definitely probably one of the weirdest pizzas I've had, next to the fig and mashed potato pizza that I had at a just regular American restaurant.
Fig and mashed potato? That can't be good.
Bro, you were there, right?
That was
fig jam and mashed potato.
Yeah, it was around here. That pizza store that closed down.
Yeah, closed
on the
down
way to
last
like
week.
by the.
It was this
heading
cool
towards the
little
Target.
restaurant that did like really interesting artisan pizzas, and they had like some like table tennis tables, ping pong tables, and some arcades in the back.
Some arcade, cabinets.
They had some weird pizzas. What was the other one? There was another one that was really strange.
I remember the fig mashed potato one.
The fig mashed potato one definitely stood out, but there was another one that was like also really weird, but was a lot better than the fig and mashed potato one.
I don't remember.
Regardless, yeah, people put weird stuff on pizzas, but I'm all for it.
And see, you can't go wrong with a good pepperoni pizza.
Well, no,
No.
you've already
No,
gone
you
wrong by
can't.
putting pepperoni on it.
Ethan, have you tried
Yeah,
pepperoni?
pepperoni pizza, no pepperoni.
What's
Mhm.
No, I'm messing with you, Ethan. There's nothing wrong
I
with
know you're
pepperoni
messing
pizza.
with me, Matthew.
Pepperoni, no pepperoni?
Pepperoni, no pepperoni.
Nah, I prefer a good sausage pizza to
Oh,
pepperoni.
dude, either sausage or meatball. Ooh, so
Oh,
good.
meatball's good too, yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of pepperoni. That's just me.
Just order a pepperoni pizza with no pepperonis.
You're
You're
right.
fine.
You
Very
should
true.
do that at a like a American.
Do that at an American pizza place. Like, go to Pizza Hut and be like, "Hey, can I have a pepperoni pizza with no pepperoni, please?"
I'm sure people have done that before.
Yeah, I bet
know-
they have.
You know what's disappointing? Pizza Hut. When I was young, Pizza Hut had the best pizza in town. And then, like 5 years later, when I was like 10 or 11, they changed the recipe and it turned to shit. Like literally overnight, just absolute crap. It was terrible. We had to find a whole brand new pizza chain. It was a mess. Honestly,
Which pizza chain did you guys end up going with?
we bounced around. We went to one chain, we went to a different chain, we went to a mom and pop shop, we went to a different chain. Matthew was terrible. You couldn't find a pizza to
Yeah.
save your life. And then, finally, in high school, a Pudgy's Pizza opened in the town that was right down the street. Pudgy's Pizza has probably some of the best chain pizza ever. And it's only on the East Coast, and it's more centralized to New York. So it was really weird they opened a chain down in Maryland. And, yeah, it lasted for 3 years and then they packed up. I was upset. To say I was upset was like an understatement. Like, I was depressed for like a week. Like, I just sat at
Oh,
my
no.
desk at home and I was like, wow, I can't get Pudgy's Pizza anymore. It's gone. There's no more Pudgy's.
This is all
it's
you
gone.
did for 3 days. You sat at your desk.
No,
you
a week,
thought
Matthew.
about-
I was depressed for a week.
You could only think about the lack of pudgy.
I got home, like
you
I
were
would get
going
back.
to
No,
experience.
I would get back from school, and I'd sit. I wouldn't do work. I'd sit at my desk, and I'd stare out my window, and I'd be like, "Wow, you know what'd be nice right now? Some Pudgy's pizza."
Pudgy's pizza.
And then I'd like stare off into the distance, just like really like depressed. I was so mad. I couldn't believe it. And the crazy thing was like this chain, it was getting good business. Like it did like delivery, and it served like the greater area that we were in. And like a lot of people love their pizza. So I don't know what happened. They were making good money. There was no way they weren't making good money. But for whatever reason, up and packed up. They're gone now. It's now an Indian place. It's just I miss Pudgy's. I miss it so
Pudgies.
much.
Rip Pudgies.
Rip.
Rip Fudgies. There's this place in close to me. It's called Anthony's Pizza. It's okay.
Is that where we went when I visited?
No, so the place that I'm talking about is by my mom's place. The
Okay.
place that you went to is by my dad's place.
Mm-hmm.
The place by my mom's place, that's Anthony's. It's good. It's okay. The one that you went to was Tally Ho Pizza. That was. I'm not a huge fan of Tally Ho, but it is what it is. You know.
They were fine. It wasn't
Yeah.
anything to write home about, but it was.
Yeah,
definitely-
exactly. It's nothing to write
definitely
home
pizza.
about. This is true. It is definitely pizza.
All right. Since it has been well over an hour of content, I'm afraid that we are going to have to end episode 2 of TPAN
we can keep going. You know, just
right
just
here.
keep going for it.
We could,
I
Ethan,
feel
but then
that.
you have to
Listener, don't listen
remember.
to Matthew. Don't listen to Matthew.
You have to remember
in
we
your
have to
mind.
edit this, Ethan. We have to
Continue
edit this
T-Pan
later.
in your mind, everyone.
Yeah,
Honestly,
just imagine we all
Yes.
continue talking.
just imagine. Exactly.
Imagine we all continue talking, and we will see you next week. I'm Matt.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Rowena.
And I've been Smith.
You've been.
God
Are you
damn
not
it,
Smith
Smith.
anymore?
I've been Smith for the past hour and 40 minutes.
You're no longer Smith. You're
Ooh,
Smythe.
yeah, who are we gonna get when we get off this call?
Smythe. We have
Because you'll-
Smythe.
You'll have to
Ooh,
find
Smythe?
Smith's
I'm excited
evil
for Smythe.
doppelganger.
Smite.
Smythe. Good old Smythe.
out.
Gotta love some Smythe.
All right. Well, take care, everyone.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Out. Bye.